Yes, sir.
As a permanent resident, but also a British citizen, I understand that the single-payer health system is not theoretical, it works in practice, and that back home, if you go into a hospital, you don't lose your house, you don't go bankrupt, and when I go door to door explaining these things to people, they're asking me, how do we change the healthcare system?
Sorry, where do you come from?
England, Liverpool.
Right, Liverpool.
Yeah. So I'm trying to tell people that it's not just theoretical, a single-payer system does work, and that means that people won't go bankrupt, they won't lose their house, and and there's nothing more.
And how do they respond to that?
Well, they ask me where I'm from first, and then
well, they say, "Why don't you speak English?"
But they tell me it's socialism, and they try and equate it with communism and things like that. And I say, well, you already have socialism in the United States. You pay your taxes, and they pay for the schools, they pay for the fire thing, and you can extend that to healthcare to make sure that is. And like you said, it's healthcare is a human right. It's not just a privilege, and that's what I'm trying to tell my American friends.
Fantastic. All right. Are you getting across in some cases?
I'm trying. Yeah, I think so. Hoping to. So.
All right. What we have to remember is, when I talk about all of the opposition that we have. I'm sorry, your first name is?
Callum.
Callum?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that we have to deal with is you have a media out there, national media, which by and large keeps people very uninformed. I mean, if you go out and you ask people, now people who come to these meetings are more politically conscious than most people are. How many people in America even know that we are the only country that doesn't guarantee health care to all people? How many people will know that in the UK, we spend almost 3 times more per person on health care as you do, and all of your people have health care, right? Think, how many people in America even know that? Very few. So, what the political revolution is about, as I understand it, is just trying to educate people to understand healthcare is a right. This young man, what's your name? Ezra is going to go to school, and when he walks into school, nobody asks him how much money his family has. He goes to school because we have public education in America. Well, in the UK and every other country on earth, they also have public health care. That health care is a right of all people. It's funny, I have every year in Washington, some young people from the UK come in, and I said, let me see your cards. So we don't have cards. I mean, just go to the doctor, you make an appointment, you go in, and say Mary is here, and that's it. And they save an enormous amount of money on bureaucracy because we spend half our lives filling out forms and insurance policies, and it costs a lot of money to do all that stuff. All right, but thank you for doing that. And that is, we just have to, what a Medicare for all single-payer system would be like, would transform this country in huge ways. You know what it would mean? Millions of people, among many other things, would be able to do the work they want and not have to stay in jobs that they're in because they have good health care to take care of their families.
Preach that.
It would unleash an enormous amount of energy. Think of what you could do if you knew that you had health care and your kids had health care. Not to mention the burden on small businesses and everything else. Okay, yes, ma'am.